If you are ever lost and lonely in a rice field and want to make a friend, this is a story for you. It was one of those times again when I just needed to escape. And all I really wanted was some beautiful nature, some great landscapes, some wonderful things to look at, and some quality time with myself. So I googled beautiful landscape hike cheap. I promised myself I would travel to the very first place that came up, and that place was the beautiful town of Sapa in Vietnam. And so I booked a flight, bought some hiking equipment and flew to Vietnam. After spending 2 great days in Hanoi to acclimatize, I hopped onto a bus and made my way towards the Chinese border to the beautiful town of Sapa. The small mountain town of Sapa is located about 350 kilometers northwest of Hanoi in Lao Cai province, close to the Chinese border. Set among the Huanglian Son mountain range, the town stands at the head of a deep valley of magnificent rice terraces that are still worked today as they have been for centuries. Sapa is home to the friendly and peaceful highland tribes, whose arts and crafts are on daily display in the town square. Enticing ribbons of road lead the eye down the valley floor, white water rivers rush among the rice fields, and lush green mountains stretch into the distance as far as the eye can see. The town of Sapa, although overrun with tourists, is beautiful. It's small, it's quaint, it's charming, it's right on the foot of a mountain. You've got a beautiful view into the valley. The people are lovely, the food is phenomenal, and I was in my absolute element. So my plan was to have a hotel and go on daily hikes. Now, I did have a tent and sleeping bag with me, just in case I got lost or in case I found a beautiful spot I'd want to spend the night at. Now, the problem with hiking in Sapa is that there aren't really any maps. So really the safest way to do it is to ask a highland lady. Sapa is known for the lovely highland tribes, and these women are very eager to show you around. For a small fee, of course. What they will actually ask you to do is buy some of their arts and crafts. Fair enough. But really, I wanted to be by myself. I didn't want to join a group, I didn't want to follow someone. I just felt I wanted to venture through this by myself and enjoy the peaceful nature. So I asked the lady at the reception, and she drew me a map. So she drew Sapa and a couple of towns around Sapa that were in walking distance. She never really told me how to get there. She just said, get out of town and then you'll find a path that will take you there. I kind of compared her map to Google Maps, and it was pretty accurate, I have to say. I only had to make a couple of adjustments, and then every day I decided on one place to visit. So what I would usually do, I would find a path, walk on that path, and then somehow I'd make my way to one of the towns. Now and again there'd be a sign or there'd be a farmer on the way that I could ask, and once I reached the town, I would ask someone with a scooter to drive me back to Sapa. On this one specific day, I think I bit off a little more than I could chew. My hikes all started at exactly the same point, a little hole in a wall that led to a little slope that you could kind of slide down. You would hit a path and that would lead you to other paths into whichever direction you wanted to go. So on this day, I wanted to hike to a little town called Lao Cai. I'll tell you what, hiking through those rice terraces is like meditation. It is so peaceful, so beautiful. I was like in a complete Zen mode, if that's even a thing. I was so happy and so at peace. I didn't listen to any music. I had no reception on my cell phone. I just had myself, my thoughts, and the beautiful nature. It was wonderful. Now, I always knew which direction I had to walk, but the problem with Lao Cai was that I just made the mistake and went the wrong way and then completely lost my path. One thing that I can do is read a compass, and I kind of knew which direction I had to walk towards. But even that took me way off the trail. At some point, I was literally just climbing through a forest, and I had no idea where the hell I was. But you know what? At no point did I panic because I had my tent with me, I had food with me, I had enough water with me. I just thought, I'm gonna let happen whatever happens. Zen mode, I'm telling ya. Of course, I knew that there were other groups hiking to Lao Cai as well. I hadn't seen any, but there must have been someone. I'm not sure if this is a path or not. I'm not sure if this is the right path or not. But then I thought, hey, what would Pocahontas do? Sing? Okay, maybe not Pocahontas. Moana, what would Moana do? How far I'll go! Shh! Okay, enough with the Disney. What would a hunter do? A hunter would look at the floor and check for footprints. And that's what I did. I checked the floor for footprints. And guess what? I found some hiking shoe prints. Great, I knew I was on the right track again. Funnily enough, on this day, I didn't meet a single soul. So once I reached yet another fork in the road, with both ways kind of going the same direction, I once again chose the wrong one. I went up and up and up and up and up and up a mountain. Eventually, I ran into this old lady and I'm just like, hi, Lao Chai? And without saying much, she just went, then turned around and said, and after, you buy. So I followed her. There's no chance in hell I would have found this route. There was climbing, there was sliding, there was maneuvering myself through fallen trees. Crazy. And she did all of this in flip-flops. I must have been so wrong with my directions that day because I followed her for a good 2.5 hours. And then all of a sudden she said, stop. So I stopped. She gave me her basket. I looked into her basket, wondering what the hell I'm supposed to do with it. And I look up, and she's gone. Oh, hell no! She had disappeared. Bitch better be no ghost! So there I'm standing with her basket, no idea where the hell she is. Turns out she disappeared into the bushes because she had to use the toilet. Anyway, after about another hour of walking, we arrived in Lao Chai. She took me to some really great vendors. I was able to buy some fruit and my favorite thing ever, which is sugarcane juice. So good. She left me alone at a restaurant. I had some spring rolls, some pho, which is what I had all the time, by the way, for breakfast, lunch and supper. Afterwards, she met me on the street and asked me to buy something. I bought a whole bunch of bracelets. She was happy. We became best friends and we've been living together ever since. Kidding. I found someone with a scooter who drove me all the way back to Sapa and I was back safe in my hotel room. I would go back to Sapa immediately. I thought it was phenomenal. If you love hiking, if you love walking, if you love nature, if you love cheap, amazing food, that is the place to go. Generally, there's so much more of Vietnam I want to discover, so I cannot wait to get back there again. I do have a couple more really cool Vietnam stories, but those are for another day. That's it from me for today. I'm checking out. See you tomorrow.